What are you doing?
For weeks, the cat acted like every living thing was a threat. Toys failed, food barely mattered, even quiet patience seemed useless. Then a tiny foster kitten wandered into the room, and within days, the same exhausted feral cat started making soft chirping sounds nobody there had ever heard before. Swiss Rolls looked like a cat who had simply stopped expecting life to get better. His body stayed low to the ground, his movements slow and careful, like every step cost him energy he barely had left. His nose was scarred and raw from life outside, one ear leaked from an untreated infection, and his teeth were in terrible condition. Haley, the rescue coordinator at Thrifted Kittens Animal Rescue, believed he had likely been used as a mouser in an industrial area instead of living as someone's companion. He had clearly known humans before, but not in a way that taught him safety. When Haley placed a humane trap nearby, he walked inside within 5 minutes. Feral cats usually fought capture with everything they had. Swiss Rolls barely hesitated. The moment stayed with Haley because it did not feel like surrender. It felt like exhaustion, like a cat who had spent too long surviving alone and no longer knew what else to do. At the clinic, the full picture became clearer. Swiss Rolls tested positive for FIV, a lifelong virus common in outdoor cats, and his damaged teeth must have made eating painful for months. But the emotional wounds were harder to understand. Every attempt at connection failed. If Haley reached too close, he swatted toward her hand. If she rolled a toy across the floor, he reacted as though the harmless movement carried danger. Most of the time, he stayed hidden, watching everything without relaxing for even a second. The rescue team slowly began discussing the possibility that indoor life simply might not work for him. Nothing about his behavior suggested comfort or curiosity. Even when food was placed nearby, he waited until the room felt completely empty before moving. One afternoon, Haley sat quietly against the wall for nearly an hour just to see whether he would eat in front of her. He stepped halfway out from hiding, froze the moment she shifted slightly, then disappeared again. Every tiny movement seemed to confirm how deeply fear had shaped him. Still, Haley noticed something strange. Whenever another cat passed near the room, Swiss Rolls paid attention. His eyes followed the sound, his posture softened for a few seconds before tightening again. Unlike his reactions toward humans, there was no swatting, no panic, no warning. That small detail stayed in Haley's mind until she finally decided to bring in a foster kitten she believed might help him feel safe. The change began almost immediately. The old tomcat lifted his head the moment the kitten entered. Then came soft chirping noises, tiny sounds nobody there had heard from him before. Over the next few days, the rescue team started witnessing moments that felt impossible compared to the frightened cat they first trapped. Swiss Rolls began stepping out while Haley remained inside the room. At first, it lasted only seconds. Then he crossed the floor to reach his food bowl without bolting back into hiding. One morning, Haley walked in and found him sleeping beside the kitten, fully asleep instead of half alert. It was the first time his body looked truly at rest. The progress came slowly, but it finally felt real. Swiss Rolls started remaining near Haley instead of retreating whenever she entered. One evening, while the kitten rested nearby, Haley reached out carefully and touched his back. Instead of swatting, he stayed still. A few days later, he leaned slightly into her hand for the first time. That tiny movement carried more meaning than any dramatic rescue moment ever could. The same cat who once treated every hand like a threat was beginning to understand comfort. Three months after arriving indoors, Swiss Rolls no longer looked like he was melting away. He purred when Haley sat beside him, and sometimes rolled onto his back so she could rub his belly. The frightened cat, who once froze at every movement, now waited calmly for Haley to enter the room each morning. Even now, she remains the only person he fully trusts. Somehow, through patience and the quiet companionship of another cat, Swiss Rolls finally learned that not every hand would hurt him. If Swiss Rolls' journey touched your heart, consider liking, sharing, or subscribing for more rescue stories like his. Animals recovering from fear often need patience more than perfection. Sometimes the smallest signs of trust mean the most, and every frightened animal deserves the chance to finally feel safe. At KindPaws, each story begins with our team's heart. We choose only real and meaningful moments, always from respected sources. With thoughtful editing, music, and images, we work to make each story meaningful and alive. Thank you so much for being with us, and we look forward to the next story together.